ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
Who's in? This LSU group certainly hoping they can get there. As you're watching SEC football presented by Allstate, Joe Burrow and company. Just one touchdown in the first 15 minutes, but they are knocking on the door inside the red zone at the 15-yard line. Second down and 4. Burrow 7 out of 10, 101 yards. Edwards-Helaire breaks a tackle. Down to the 5-yard line. It'll be a gain of 9 and first and goal for LSU.
This is going to be there for LSU throughout this ball game, simply because of the soft coverage that Utah State is playing right now. They're going to come up and force the issue, but right now running the football is where LSU is.
Run it again with Edwards-Helaire and loose football. Who's got it? Thaddeus Moss comes up with the football right at the goal line.
I thought he might have recovered it inside the end zone.
Thaddeus Moss.
They're going to take another look at this, a closer look.
Well, inside zone, right coming through here. You see the ball is definitely out. A nice call. Yeah, he does recover the football right there on the 1 or half-inch line. Good job with Thaddeus Moss being alert, coming up with that football. That could have been a big turn of events for Utah State. Had a chance, had a hand on it and everything, and could not come up with it. Looked like Shaq Barnes was the guy who had a finger on it, just could not come up with it.
Oh, we saw Joe Burrow fumble earlier. Offensive line fell on that one. This time your tight end falls on a loose ball. We've seen an interception already. And lucky to have rules expert Matt Austin back in our studios. Matt, what'd you see on that particular fumble?
Yeah, Dave and DJ, it looks like that the recovering player did pull the ball into the end zone after he possessed it. So, but that's what replay has to decide. When did he get possession of that ball? If it was in the field of play, then he's down. The ball will be on about the 1-foot line. If he pulled it into the end zone, it'll stay there. If he didn't get possession until it was over the goal line, it would be a touchdown.
See, man, I think it's one of those where replay is good right there. Because Thaddeus, he was sneaky now.
He's trying to sneak him to get him a sneaky touchdown there.
So it will be at the half-yard line. Burrow will try to quarterback sneak it in, and does he get in? No sign just yet. And there it is, touchdown LSU. Second rushing touchdown of the year for Joe Burrow. There have been some flashier touchdowns for Joe Burrow this year.
I'll tell you, man, as a former QB, but if it's 1 or it's 40, we'll take those TDs. We'll take them any way we can get them. Got a little help from his tailback there, pushing him into the end zone, but counts the same for LSU. I know they'll take it here, especially after almost losing the fumble there on the goal line.
Point after is up and through from Cade York, the true freshman. And it's a 14-6 ball game. Just a few seconds into the second quarter. Of course, some big ball games today, and perhaps the biggest, Florida and Auburn going at it.
That's going to be a fun one.
All right, you got Bo Nix, Kyle Trask. Trask hasn't played a whole lot. You got Bo Nix, who certainly hasn't played a lot as a true freshman. Quarterback advantage where?
Man, you know what? I say advantage Trask because he's at home. But I also like Bo Nix because he's been on the road and he's experienced those environments. Swamp is a tough place to play. So we'll see which guy can handle that atmosphere. But ultimately in this league, it comes down to the trenches. Auburn has a really good defensive front. Florida has struggled on the offensive line. Can they protect Kyle Trask in that ball game will be key.
And in that Georgia-Tennessee game, Tennessee going with a true freshman quarterback today, Jared Garantano. We'll watch from the sidelines to start that one. And Tennessee, it's just been it's been kind of a mess.
It's not even been up and down. It's been down in most of this season for Tennessee. And Maybe you get up for a rivalry game. Georgia coming to town. Maybe you get up for them.
Atkins will kick this one into the end zone. Scarver brought it out from about 8 yards deep last week against Colorado State and took it to the end zone. This time he took it to the 20 and got walloped. Just another Saturday in the South. And speaking of Saturdays in the South, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app, it's our 8-part documentary that chronicles the history of SEC football. Tuesdays at 9 Eastern, Part 6 takes you into the 90s. With Change, the word of the decade, mega TV deals with CBS and ESPN, the first ever conference championship game, Arkansas and South Carolina joined. The fun and gun offense started dominating college football. And the rivalry between the Gators and Peyton Manning's Tennessee Volunteers really took off.
Fun and gun. I like those type of offenses.
Eric Monroe, after that collision, slow to get up. Jack Marucci, longtime head athletic trainer, jogging off with him.
Eric Monroe's a guy that's part of that secondary where we talked about it earlier already. This LSU defense is already limited. They can't afford anybody else to go down. Saw Grant Delpit come back in the game, so good for him.
First down and 10 Aggies. We're talking to Dave Aranda. Said basically our best players got to start making some more plays for us. We'll see if those guys can do it here. And there is a 5-yard infraction against LSU.
Offside on the defense, number 62, contact on the center. That's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
Siaki Ika out of Salt Lake City, Utah. You know he was anxious to get going.
It always baffles me, that guy right there sitting right over the football is the one that usually jumps off sides, trying to get a fresh start on those guys.
LSU strings it out well. No gain on the play as Bright is slammed to the turf by Clark.
And Clark is a guy you'll see at the linebacker position, but you also see him off the edge as well, rushing.
And another big hit. Nathan will lose 3. Vincent, the junior safety, making a play.
What's so remarkable about that one is Vincent wasn't even lined up right. He was coming from across the other side of the field to get lined up and runs right into that play. Big third down here. This is what usually Utah State does on third down. They look to the sideline, try to get the best call.
Looks like all that extra practice in the off week on tackling for LSU is paying off here, at least in the first half.
False start on the offense, number 88, 5-yard penalty, third down.
Utah State penalized 5 yards for a false start.
So now to be third down and 13. 4-man rush by LSU. Over the middle, pass is almost picked off. Jacoby Stevens in outstanding coverage. Will make it fourth down.
And watch at the upper left part of your screen. Here's Vincent. He's going to come all the way across here to make the play. Not even lined up correctly, but comes all the way across and swings out the screen and makes the play for a tackle for loss. Talk about team speed on defense, getting where you're supposed to be. You may not start in the right spot, but Vincent ended there.
And a flag comes in. LSU went after that. Stingley will let it roll. But they went for the block and did not get it.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker on the defense, number 11. 15-yard penalty results in a first down.
Eric Monroe a little too anxious.
Yeah, we just saw Eric Monroe come off the field. He's coming right off this right edge over here. And you see run right into the kicker. Trying to go get it. If you can't get there, you have to find a way to pull up. And running into that leg of the kicker is always going to get you for a big 15-yarder and give Utah State another possession. an extra possession in this ball game, and you see Coach O, he can't be happy about that.
Yeah, it has not been a clean quarter and change so far for LSU. Hand it off to Bright. Take it off right guard. Pick up 2.5, maybe 3. Gerald Bright, 36 carries, 179 yards last week out of Pensacola, Florida. It was just a downpour in their win against Colorado State. Probably affected both teams in the way they wanted to play in that game. Jordan Love just 17 of 33, 51% completion rate, 204 yards. Quick snap. Pressure comes. He lofts it up high in the air. Pass is caught. Jordan Nathan run out of bounds. He'll spot it around the 30-yard line. Nice pitch and catch. Love to Nathan.
We've seen 2 balls like that today where he has dropped it in the ideal spot for his receivers. Couldn't be put in a better spot. Jordan Love is just as impressive as anybody else in the entire country, and he's showing it today with some throws down the field as well as intermediate.
LSU wants to take a timeout.
You can see the tempo there. The big play down there forces Utah State and forces LSU to.
What a grab from Jordan Nathan. Aggies on the move. Back in a moment. Jordan Love now in his 3rd offensive coordinator, Mike Sanford. But actually, these two have a relationship going back to high school. Mike Sanford was an assistant at Boise State and was somewhat interested in Jordan Love coming to Boise. But then Mike Sanford got the job at Notre Dame. He was also recruiting Ian Book at the time. Decided to go with Ian Book, brought him to Notre Dame. But now their paths cross again as Mike Sanford was brought on by Gary Anderson to be the offensive coordinator here at Utah State. So you just never know how things will turn out for you. Matter of fact, Jordan Love trying to be the first Utah State quarterback to be drafted since 1989.
I think he's got a good chance.
Yeah, I would say. I would say so. 2nd down and 10.
And the biggest thing for LSU is getting lined up. The tempo when Utah State gets going, you see them running around trying to get in the right spots. We've seen a couple times they've caught LSU in some precarious spots trying to get lined up.
4-man rush going up top again. This one is intercepted. What a grab by Derek Stingley. The true freshman has just been making play after play for LSU.
You're talking about one of the top players in the country, and he just happens to be a freshman. Look at the way he plays this perfectly. Stays in the hip pocket, looks back for the football, and then goes up at the highest point and catches this football. This is what they teach on Sundays. And this kid is only a freshman. He couldn't have played that football any better than he did there.
#1 player coming out of high school a year ago. Enrolled early, couldn't wait to get to Baton Rouge and be actually from here, but be a part of this program and get things cranked up. Kurt, you know, you talk to his teammates, they say he just gets it. Wired correctly. Not much on the ground for Edwards-Helaire. No gain on the play.
When we talked to Grant Delpit about Stingley, and we asked him, the first thing he did was just smile.
Yeah.
Like, this kid is special, and that's coming from a guy who's played as a freshman here. The upside for Stingley is going to be pretty positive. And LSU here, they got to find a way to get off their own end line here. Try to run the football. Too much penetration from Utah State early in this ballgame.
Burrow will stand on the S in the middle of that end zone. Quick throw. That pass is caught by Thaddeus Moss. Pick up 6. It's 3rd down, and let's call it 4. Burrow out of that shotgun. Said last year took so many stabs under center and never really had done that his entire life.
He said, I ain't done that since 6th grade, so he just wasn't comfortable, but he's completely comfortable back there in the gun now and orchestrating this offense. Looks like one-on-one at the bottom down here with Jamar Chase.
Quick hitter. Chase makes the catch. That'll be good enough for the first down as he's out to the 16-yard line. I just don't know how you defend something that happens that quickly with a guy like Chase.
Yeah, because he has the ability to make you miss at the line of scrimmage on that press coverage. Does a great job with his release and gives Burrow a nice window to throw to and a nice conversion.
Gets him out of the shadows of that goalpost. Out to the 20 goes Edwards-Helaire. Ray Grayson making the stop for Utah State. It is a hot, hot day. Depth will be a big factor in the second half on this one.
And you can see the mass changes on both sides, especially on the D-lines. These teams trying to keep these guys fresh in this hot environment. I mean, you look at this box. This is why they run the football so much. Utah State's playing nothing but coverage.
Trying to set up the screen. John Emery breaking a tackle, have the first down at the 28. Pickup of 9.
That's something Coach O talked to us about is they just haven't ran as many screens in the first 4 games. And you can see the variety in which they're playing offensively. Run the football, using screens, quick game. They got it all working now as they're starting to feel like they're starting to get into a groove offensively.
Burrow on the move. Got hit as he threw it right around the 12-yard line. He gets helped up there. Pressure came from Henniger. Well, good coverage on the back end by Utah State. You know, you start talking about Gary Anderson, a kind of a defensive guy, says he loves to play man, but with this group, just not there yet. So he doesn't do it as much as he would like to.
Yeah, the style in which they play it is suitable for them, and the personnel they have. They play a lot of zone coverage. And that particular play, LSU went with 3 receivers out, so they were able to bracket and cloud those 3 receivers that were out in the route.
Utah State bringing 5. And Burrow goes down around the 23-yard line. Jacoby Wildman with the sack, a loss of 5.
And you watch on the back end, they got 3 receivers out in the route. I mean, there's really nowhere for Joe Burrow to go with the football. And as he scrambles out, he gets Henniger in his face. This Utah State defense plays this style, and they're really good at it. It's simple, but it's what fits them. Good look.
3rd down and 14. This is the 7th 3rd down for LSU today. Over the middle, Derek Dillon. 1st down at the 43, 20-yard pickup.
Well, the only thing when you have this style of defense and you don't rush with 3 guys, you give the quarterback time to sit back in the pocket and survey the route. That took a long time for that route concept to develop, and he finally found his in cut coming in there after about 4 or 5 seconds.
First down and 10, clock ticking closer to 7 minutes to go here in the 2nd quarter. Another 4-minute drive for LSU. Their first touchdown drive went over 4 minutes. John Emery made the first man miss, but then couldn't make the next couple defenders miss. As Leffridge will get credit for that stop.
Yeah, number 91, Devin Anderson, up front for Utah State, created that no gain or almost negative yardage play with his penetration. LSU up front, offensive line, they got to do a better job of blocking up front, especially in the run game.
Pass is caught by Emery. Not much happening there. They'll spot it around the 45-yard line. Give him 3.
And talking to offensive coordinator Steve Mensmiger, he talked about what to expect coming to this ball game from Utah State. He said, I really have no idea. Every team they played this year have had a new wrinkle for this LSU offense. And right now, Utah State keeping everything in front of them and forcing them just to tackle a space.
Gary Anderson wants a timeout. 5:56 to go in the first half. LSU on the move.
The world is watching, so shine your light. Light the night. Light the way.
After the Utah State timeout, LSU looking at a 3rd down and 7. You see what LSU has done, throwing for over 430 yards a game. And today hasn't been as crisp as they normally have been through the first 4 games of the season.
And Dave, that's the #1 word that Coach O uses. They want to be crisp and efficient, and they haven't been either in this first half.
Another time-consuming drive. It's already up over 5 minutes. This will be the 11th play. Burrow over the middle. Good crisp throw there for the first down to the 40-yard line. Goes Justin Jefferson.
Slight movement within the pocket. And Justin Jefferson is one of those crafty receivers that understands zone and man coverages and sat down right in the zone, right past the first down marker to get that conversion.
This is the most plays in an LSU drive this year. This is play number 12 coming up. Started back at the LSU 1-yard line. Burrow will keep it. Burrow dives across the 25-yard line. A 14-yard pickup.
This is what Burrow can do as well. He's not the most athletic guy, but he can hurt you with his legs. And you got to still account for him in the run game, especially on that one on the zone read.
Burrow to throw, going up top, looking toward the end zone. Passes caught. Jamar Chase, touchdown. LSU, 25 yards.
And you see how quickly LSU can hurt you. And you can see just what Jamar Chase provides for this offense. And another big throw from Joe Burrow, giving his guy a chance to win on the outside, and Chase making an acrobatic catch to come down with it.
Made one to Chase against Vanderbilt to the other side of the end zone at about the same spot, just near that pylon. York will attempt the point after. And he'll split the uprights. 21-6, Tigers out in front.
Joe Burrow with the big 3rd down conversion. And then he dropped this one on Jamar Chase, putting his Tigers up 21-6.
Steve Ensminger, Joe Brady. Steve Ensminger's been coaching football longer than Joe Brady's been alive. Joe Brady now in his first season at LSU, their passing game coordinator, wide receivers coach. Those two working together for the first time, obviously, and it has been a really good decision by Coach O to have put those two minds together.
Yeah, that combination has been really big, and they have gelled so well. Coach O even said, he mentioned to Coach Ensminger, hey, bringing in another guy, are you okay with, expanding this? And he said, absolutely.
Take a look at Winning with Style, brought to you by Belk. And for LSU, it was their longest drive of the year in terms of plays, yards, and time.
Yeah, this 99-yard drive with a bunch of 3rd down conversions in this. Joe Burrow using his legs to pick up some big yards as well. Then they come right back and hit you with Jamar Chase on the outside. When you finally get that one-on-one, they make you pay. And we talk about the combination of Coach Ensminger and Joe Brady. This offense is starting to click, and we've seen it throughout the year, but that last drive was indicative of what they can do when they're hidden.
13 plays, 99 yards, 6:42 time of possession. The whistles will stop the play, and I think Utah State needed to take a timeout before the play clock ran out. Speaking of time of possession, LSU has just owned it right now. They're 18 minutes and 16 seconds for 6:49 for Utah State. You just wonder how much this defense can hold up for Utah State with those kind of numbers.
Yeah, and Utah State defense has done a really good job giving up a couple of big plays here and there, but they forced LSU to earn pretty much every yard they've gotten, and LSU taking it full field. But like you mentioned, this is a very hot day. They're trying to rotate guys, so defensively, how long can they last going into 4 quarters of this ball game?
Just total of 88 yards for Utah State. Jordan Love, 7 of 16, 95 yards. Had a couple of nice throws, but has really been kept off balance by LSU. They'll bring 4, quick slant. That one is caught by Jordan Nathan. Pick up 4 there. Over the middle, that one is caught. It'll go to Devin Tompkins. That'll move the chains.
This is an offense that prefers to be in this hurry up, go fast, keeps defensively for LSU simplistic.
Trying to get it out to the tight end, Caleb Rep. He'll make the catch, but lose 2 in the process. Patrick Queen making another tackle. Well, there have been 5 tackles for loss today by this LSU defense.
And that's where Utah State cannot live, going east and west. LSU is too fast, too physical going east and west. They got to continue to go north and south like they did on the first two actually plays.
Gerald Bright scoots it out over the 40 to the 43, gain of 7.
Time is
making the tackle.
Time is not a factor. You talked about it earlier, Dave. This is an offense that actually scores faster than LSU does.
Boy, Bright is popped out of bounds by Patrick Queen, who's going sideline to sideline today.
Interesting call here. Coach Anderson looks like he's going for it here on 4th down.
Instead, Coach Anderson will bring out the punt team. Derek Stingley back to return, but we've got some great return men in this game today. Stingley averaging almost 12 yards per return. We'll have to wait. 3:02 to go. Timeout on the field.
Doring, Chiz, and Burns coming up at half. We'll start breaking down Auburn, Florida. These guys breaking down very important X's and O's when it comes to LSU and Utah State. So we'll break down some of those games right now. These guys, I can't take them anywhere. How about this also? Les Miles, the Mad Hatter. Oh, by the way, 7-7 against Oklahoma right now. That game up in Lawrence. We'll have highlights for all of SEC stuff coming up at half. Back to David DJ.
Thank you, Peter. 3:02 to go before we get to halftime. LSU up 21-6. Utah State about to punt it away. Here's Callister back to punt. High kick. Stingley will watch this one bounce out of bounds into the cheerleading section. 1st and 10 for LSU. Joe Burrow. So far today is 14 of 18, 187, couple of TDs. Did have that one pick on a pass that probably should have been caught by his tight end on that last drive. 6:37 off the clock, 99 yards. I'd hope that would be the longest because I don't know it's possible to go any longer, is it?
Maybe there's a half yard in there somewhere.
1st down and 10. Joe Burrow making his 19th consecutive start, 18th consecutive start. He's 14-3, trying to push it to 15-3. What a catch from Justin Jefferson, going up top to make the grab at the 47-yard line.
finally get the one-on-ones now on the outside, creating those one-on-ones on the outside with Cameron Haney, Justin Jefferson, 6'3", 195. Joe Burrow just giving him a chance, and look at the catch.
Davis Price on that carry, picks up 6.
Watch, he does a great job on his release going outside, and he creates that outside leverage, and the ball is thrown perfectly inside. And we've seen some next level catches here by these LSU receivers.
Second down and 4. LSU is starting to click a little bit offensively after that last drive. They picked up a couple of crucial third downs early in the drive. Big hole for Ty Davis Price. He'll have a first down at the 30. Give him 11.
We talk about Ty Davis and his strong run right there. He does a great job getting downhill, and he's going to make that safety pay. And you can see the physicality that he runs with every time he touches the football. It's north and south.
Cash Gilliam slow to get up for Utah State. Well, we starting to look at some of these quarterbacks now that we are a third of the way through the season. Obviously, Joe Burrow here at LSU has had a huge impact, but these other guys, 3 of the 4 in this list, by the way, have transferred to their current schools.
Which is a really, really fun thing to talk about, because we asked Joe Burrow about it yesterday, and he said, what if these guys are still at their school? They would be the number 2 guys at their respective schools, and we wouldn't have all this to talk about. And now you got all these guys that looking at in the Heisman race. He said he loves it.
Little tap pass to Jefferson. He's going to do a 180 and run right into some white jerseys. That is a big loss for LSU of 7. Nick Henninger finally tracks him down.
That Jefferson name means anything to you. Of course, that's younger brother, former quarterback here at the LSU, Justin Jefferson, who played back in 2008 through 2011. I'm sure they had a bunch of times in the backyard. They were throwing passes to each other, wishing they could be in this environment.
Right through the hands of Ty Davis Price.
First pass intended for Davis Price. Incomplete. Brings up third down. 16, 36 yards.
LSU came in averaging 58 points a game.
Utah State came in with a good plan. They gave up a couple of deep routes, and that's going to happen. LSU has a way to create those, but Utah State should be pretty excited about how they played in this first half, forcing LSU to earn every big play, every yard, every possession in this ball game.
Incomplete pass, looking for Chase. That'll stop it with 44 seconds.
Right side, incomplete. Brings up fourth down for the Tigers.
Yeah, that just didn't look like they were on the same page there. Chase didn't even come off the football like he was running hard. It's a little miscommunication there by that offense.
So now it'll be 4th down and 17. Kind of in that no man's land.
On the team behind the Tigers. Join Team 10 today to support LSU student athletes in the classroom.
LSU today, you look at the yardage and you're like, okay, pretty good. 343 total, 126 on the ground, 217 through the air, right? I mean, but based on, and these are all relative to what we've seen this season.
I was going to say the same thing when you said it. I was wondering what it came from, but they've had to sustain a lot of drive. They had some penalties that put them behind the chains. So they've had to create that yardage because of some self-inflicted wounds here. See, Coach O decides to punt the football.
First punt of the day for LSU. Zach Von Rosenberg will hit it into the end zone. give us a chance to tell you that Monday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central, it's Thinking Out Loud, presented by Regions Bank. Back for another season with Greg McElroy, Marcus Spears. They'll break down the weekend on the gridiron, talk about the hottest topics for the coming week. It's all right here on this very network, and of course you can always see it on the ESPN app.
They got to add Alyssa in there, right? Alyssa's on the Thinking Out Loud show, too. She's the moderator in between those two guys, but they do a great job on the show. It's always fun to watch those guys go at it and have a little fun at everybody else's.
Aggies will keep it on the ground, run left side, no gain on the play. Utah State has run for 1 yard here in the first half. And they may want to just get to the locker room.
Lost a yard, second down 11. 19-yard line.
The emphasis for LSU was being able to tackle, but I thought they did a great job of that in the first half, not giving up any big, long plays from missed tackles.
Well, that'll do it for the first half. And don't forget, coming up at halftime, you can watch the live performance of the Golden Band from Tigerland on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming on the ESPN app. It is a 21-6 tally. LSU out in front. Ron Davenport down on the field waiting for Coach Ogeron. Make his way over to her, and she has the coach now. Dawn?
I sure do. Thank you, Coach. We talked about that Utah State offense, their tempo. How was your defense able to handle it so well that half?
I think our defensive play is fantastic. I'm so proud of our defense, the way we're tackling, the way we're keeping the ball in front. A little sluggish on offense, but you know what? We've got 60 minutes.
What's the message to your offense when you walk in there?
Keep chopping wood. I believe in this offense. I know they're going to come out on fire in the second half. We play for 60 minutes.
Thank you, Coach.
Go Tigers.
Well, they're averaging 58 points per game. They're also putting up 560 yards of offense. See if they can crank it up in the second half. It's halftime. Let's get you to the studio. Peter?
Thank you, Dave Neal. We've got Chris Doring, Gene Chizik, and myself, Peter Burns, here rolling with